All right. It is that time of. Oh, don't want to cut off my head. All right. It is that time of month. It's that time of the month. It is that time of the month. All right. Here we are. I am checking to make sure all systems are go. Kind of cut off my head a little bit here, so we're going to go up a little bit. All right. Making sure that all systems are go. We are here for our monthly live. It is the month of July. Holy crap, we are at the 6 month marker. We are halfway through 2017. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to make sure, let's see if we're getting people. We've got a couple people on here. Let me refresh the page so I can see if I can get you on the Facebook page. I'm broadcasting differently than I did last week because I wanted to be able to draw stuff, and I have not yet learned how to draw stuff on my computer while sharing the screen and all that other crazy stuff. So, oh my God, it just showed up on my phone. Corey said, yo, yo, yo. All right, so I know Corey is here. Anybody else is here, please share that you have entered the room, that you are here, that you are a part of the live broadcast. And I'm going to go ahead and do this down here. Let's go ahead and see if we can't bring it up, and let's see if we can go ahead and get messages along the way to see people who are here. So I see Corey is here, and then there are other people who are hiding. I can still see you. There are other people who are hiding, so please say hello. Brian says, live and kicking. Mike Ann says, hi, Troy. Catherine says, we are here. That means her and Aaron are here. Hey, what's cool about that? Because their doc is off traveling somewhere in the world feeding their child beer. Don't ask me why. We'll ask Jana to explain that next time when she's on. So Trevor is here. I feel like we just talked. And so, all right, we've got a few people piling in. A couple more people are coming along the way. So let us go ahead and proceed. We are at the halfway mark for 2017. And the goal is basically to have everybody up and running and firing on all cylinders when it comes to their objectives, or actually what we call our targets, by Monday. So if you have not done this yet, it is extremely important that you take the time to do your targets. Each time we've talked about these, I'm trying to push more and more and more, getting more out of you, okay? And getting more and more streamlined. Now we're going down a path in which I'm going to be able to, we're going to talk about it, and if you listen to the video the other day, last Tuesday, I talked about the 4 B's: body, being, balance, and business. So these are the areas that we are focusing our targets on. It's very much the same thing that we've been talking about. It rolls off the tongue a little bit easier, but I'm going to go through each one. I'm going to give you examples for each one with the intention of everybody going for the impossible. Yes, the impossible. Now, the word itself implies what? I have to say this, I know it's cheesy, but it's actually true. I am possible. The very word in and of itself implies that I am possible, that anything I set my mind to, I can accomplish. We are at the midway point of the year. I do not give a shit what you have done to this point in the year. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm proud of you for the accomplishments that you have. I also know some of the roadblocks and challenges that you've had. But where you were has no bearing on where you're going, with one exception. And that one exception is for you to be true to the facts of reality. And the facts of reality would say this. Let me move that up. Did I give it my all? That's the question. Did I give it my all? If you are not where you wanted to be by July 1st, 2017, the only question that you can ask yourself is, did I give it my all? Did I give full effort in my body, in my being, in my balance, and in my business? What we have talked about is in your health, in your relationship with God, and meditation and spirituality and being focused. We've talked about your relationships, and then we've talked about your business. We've talked about those 4 areas, but the question becomes, have you given it your all? Right here, folks, this is the heart of it all. Have you given it your all? Because if you have what you want at this point in the year, most likely you have given a level of effort. I can't even say all, but I know that if you are moving in the direction of what you want, that you have given a level of effort. And as I talked about 2 weeks ago, is that level of effort your full effort, or are you capable of more? And what I know, and it's the reason I shared the example from the triathlon, is we all have more in us. So what the hell are we doing holding back on it? So here I sit. I sit on the crux of the year. I sit at the halfway point of the year and I say, here's where I wanted to be. Then I have to answer the question, did I give it my all? Is there more in the gas tank? Do I have more in me that had I given 5% more energy, effort, or focus, where would I be right now? And every one of you knows where your reality is. What is the reality of where you started or where you are right now? The reality of the effort that you put in. And then where is it that you want to go? Got to move for me. Because then the next question becomes, where do you want to go? Where do you want to end in 90 days? Where do you want to end the year? And are you willing to put in the effort that's necessary to get there? In the 4 categories that we are talking about, are you willing to put in the effort that's necessary to get there? Here's what will not get you there. And this is shit that drives me crazy. Excuses, stories, and reasons. You don't understand, I'm so busy. You don't understand, I'm trying to run a business and run a family. You don't understand, I feel like I'm a bad parent. You don't understand, I feel like I'm not giving it all to my staff. You don't understand, I don't have time to work out. You don't understand my schedule. You don't understand my life. You don't understand. Folks, do you want reasons and excuses and stories, or do you want results? Do you want excuses, stories, and reasons, or do you want results? And are you willing to do the work? Do you want excuses, stories, and reasons, or do you want results? We can't move further on hitting targets down the road and down the path of your life if you are going to live in this place. If you are going to live in a place that says, I am going to live by my stories, my reasons, my excuses as to why I don't have what I want. Whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your health, whether it's in your business. If you are living in this place, you will never have what you want. Ever. The only person that is going to leave that place is the person who's looking back at you in the mirror and says, enough is enough. I am going to go down this path. I understand my reality, and my reality is that I have not necessarily given it my all. I have not given it my all over the course of the last 6 months, and it has led me to the point to where I am today. And in not giving it my all, almost everybody across the board can say that they've improved in some level of their life. This is the danger of life. This is the danger of the game that we play, because what happens is when mediocrity gets me to a place that I wanted to go, or has me on the journey to getting to the place that I want to go, my brain starts to take on the mediocre habits that got me there. I don't need to give it my all. If minimal effort got me here, and I've not recognized that it's minimal effort, by the way, most of you don't recognize this. If minimal effort got me here, then if I continue the path of effort that I've given, then I should end up over here. What kind of shit is Troy talking about? Step it up. What kind of shit is he talking about? Get up earlier. What kind of shit is he talking about? It's all the who, not the do. Like hell, I haven't been nailing the morning ritual. I've done it half-assedly. I think half-assedly is a word. If it's not, put it in Wikipedia with my picture next to it. I've done it half-assedly, so I don't have to do a morning ritual. Half-assed effort got me to here. No, it's not where I want to be, but half-assed effort got me to here. And as the book says, and I believe the saying says, what got you here won't get you there. It's about incremental growth over time. Mediocre effort will get you mediocre results every single time. And so the question has to be, and it's very simple, are you willing to face the facts of reality? And the facts of reality ask the question, did I give it my all? Here's where I am, and did I give it my all in the first 6 months? And I have an opportunity as I go into the next part of this year to give it my all. I have an opportunity to find out what it all is. I have an opportunity to go after the impossible, what feels like something that could be impossible, that I have an opportunity to go all in? That's the question, my friends. Do you want reasons or results? And are you willing to go all in? I want you to ponder that for a second. Are you willing to go all in? Are you willing to give it the effort, energy, and focus that's necessary for you to grow? Are you willing to get rid of the excuses, the stories, and the reasons why things aren't working out? And are you willing to focus on what you want to accomplish and have a ruthless commitment to serve? A ruthless commitment to lead yourself, to lead your families, to lead your office, your CAs, your patients. CAs, your leaders. You have to lead at home. You have to lead yourself, you have to lead at home, and you have to lead when you walk into that office. See, everyone here, is a leader. And so we look at this, we say, okay, do I want excuses, stories, and reasons, or do I want results? And the question is, do I go all in? Thank you. Brian caught it. Yeah, fucking mic drop, right? Right there. That was a mic drop. Thank you, my friend. You caught it. You caught it. So what's it going to be, folks? Because we can't talk about this if you're not willing to do this. So that's a decision you have to make. I'm not interested in people who are just interested in making change. I'm interested in working with people who are committed to making change. And I know you're committed because you wouldn't be here. But then you have to be willing to face the facts of reality and where you are today and where you want to go and what your effort was. If we can get on the same page with that, if we can be clear on that, and you're willing to go all in, and you're willing to say, okay, look, man, I'm done. No more excuses, no more stories, no more reasons. That means that you're going to start to do the work, the refocus work that we have talked about. That means that when an excuse pops into your life, or a story or a reason pops into your life, you start doing what we call, in my mastermind group and in my warrior group, we call it a stack. You're going to be able to do a stack that you can actually go through the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you're having, excuses, stories, and reasons, that you can work through those things to find a solution to get results, as opposed to living in this story that you continue to build up as to why you don't have what it is that you want, and it's only a story. There are moms out there who feel like they're sacrificing their families, and they feel like they're not giving it all to their family because they have to sacrifice their business. They have to go in and work balls to the wall, I guess ovaries to the wall in their business, and it's just not true. That's a story. It's a story. The more that you buy into it, the less likely you are to have what it is that you want. There are men out there who are giving reasons as to why they don't have the weight that they want, or why they're not as healthy as they want, and it's all stories that you buy into. There are reasons that relationships aren't flourishing and growing and expanding. It's all stories. It's all excuses. You start to make these things priority. You start to say, wow, I can constantly improve in my life. I can constantly up the game, because the more I up the game with who I am, the more I expand my circle of influence. And that influence is in the people around me. That influence is in my business. That influence becomes in my community. But if I never expand myself, I can never expand my community. I can never expand my family. I can never expand my relationships, because I always become a walking contradiction. And for those of you who are followers of Dr. Patrick Gentempo, then what do we know? We know that contradictions lead to destruction. You might be able to get away with some shady shit for a while, but it always catches your ass. So you might be able to get away with mediocre performance for a while, but it will always catch up to you. Don't look at me and point the finger and say, you didn't help me. Hell no. Go look in the mirror and say, it's time for me to step up. It's time for me to play bigger. Men and women alike. This singles no one out. Period. The end. Play the game. And when these things start to pop in, I have sent out the refocus that anyone in this group can do. The refocus. Holy shit, what did I just do here? Okay, that anyone here can do a refocus. The refocus is 10 freaking questions. to work through excuses, stories, and reasons. 10 questions that you will end, and it takes practice. It's not perfect. I've been doing it for 2 years now. It takes work. But when you do it over and over again and you create a repetitiveness about this, the stories and the triggers and the excuses and the reasons that all keep popping into your head start to dwindle because your consciousness changes and you think differently and you look for things that are going to yield results instead of focusing on what's going to give you less of what you want. And excuses are, I mean, these are seeds, man. You plant the seed of excuses and you'll just keep getting more weeds in the garden. You cover up the beauty of the world. So every time that you have an excuse, story, or reason, you're covering up your own beauty. You're covering up what you're capable of when you buy into it. So we're talking about results. So far, I have one person who's all in, which is beautiful, which is Brian. He says, I'm interested in people who are committed to change. Isn't that what we all want in our new patients as well? Bam, that's a mic drop, my friend. Ham and egg breakfast, pig or chicken, committed, or just involved? Okay, that I might have to have Brian explain that one, but I think I get the point. But but here's catch the big point in what he's saying here. I'm interested in people who are committed to change. Isn't that what we all want in our new patients? We are a reflection of what we see in the world. We are a reflection of patients who come in. So when you up your game, you start attracting into your office patients who are more committed to the practice. When you start having a ruthless commitment to your life and what you want to create, guess what happens? The right people, circumstances start to flow into your life. This is not a coincidence, folks. As Wayne Dyer says, coincidences, I think it's from trig or physics or something. It's that when you talk about an angle of a triangle, they coincide. It's when two parts come together. They coincide. So when your energy is in the right place, and the energy, and you are meshing with the energy of the universe of what you want to create, and people start to show up, it's because we're in the right place. We coincide. We came together. Our energies coincided. They came together. This is what you create, and it all starts with you. Corey is helping me here. He said, a pig is involved, ham is committed. Okay, all right, I think I get it. Thank you very much. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about the bees. This is, what the hell? Remind me later. Well, that would suck if that happened. So we're talking about the bees. Body, being, balance, and business. Body. Now here's the deal. Everybody should have these solidified by Monday. Specific targets. We should not have to talk about what you want to do. We should talk about what you are committing to doing. When you look at body, okay, when we look at the body, there's multiple areas you can look at here. You can look at your overall health. What would be the impossible challenge or task for your overall health? In what realm? In the physical. For some of you, it's nutritional. Maybe you have to change the way that you're eating. Maybe you're eating sugars and grains and you need to get away from it, and you know that you should, but it just seems to be the impossible task. That would be a tough one. It takes work. It means being committed. It means if you say you're going to do it for 90 days, it's not like you get a cheat day on Saturday. You do it for fucking 90 days. That's how it works. So when you look at your health, the big thing here, again, what is impossible? What is the impossible? Impossible. What is impossible and the challenge. So Mike, I'm going to use Mike Anderson. I'm going to use his story. For those of you who haven't seen, Mike Anderson went out and during my triathlon, he made a decision that he was going to do. He said he wanted to do a duathlon or a triathlon, and so he found a duathlon. And he picked the date, and it's in September. Kid was already thinking ahead. And so he starts running, throws another challenge out there, which is to run a 5K. Now, you guys have heard about his pace. Here's what's even better. Dude just ran the 4th of July. Now, Mike is a body type here. He's not a runner. He's a runner now, but his body type would tell you he's not a runner. The dude ran his 5K, 8 weeks of training. Mike, you'll correct me, but about 8 weeks of training. The dude ran 8-minute, 50-second pace for the mile in a 3.1 mile race. This dude is going like balls to the wall because he is ruthlessly committed to doing this. And then I ask him constantly, what's the lesson? What's the lesson? What's the lesson? And what he's finding as he's digging more into his soul is that he's capable of doing more than he even thought was possible. It's the same thing for all of you. You are capable of so much more than you give yourselves credit for. And he has found this. And then we put that into his relationship with God. We put that into his relationship with his wife and his kids. And we put that into the business. These all work off of each other. So if I look for lessons consistently, I say, where does that affect me in my life and how can I use it? You're using yourself as your fuel by your accomplishments. So how can I use this to grow? And so he goes in and he says, man, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to do a duathlon. Now, what did we have to do? For his body challenge, though, the one thing we didn't have was specifics. What is the impossible? Because he was very general. And he said, I'm going to do it in under 2 hours. Well, that's not very specific. The question now becomes, what is the impossible challenge? What is the impossible challenge? So what we had to do is talk this through and say, okay, what is the impossible challenge? And we came up with a specific time. Kids got a specific time now. He has a specific body target. He is going to do the duathlon. Now I'm calling you out, buddy. Duathlon. Hopefully the spelling is okay. 140. Stretching it. Here's the beauty of it. He might be kicking and clawing and screaming to get across that finish line. And if he comes in at 145, dude still kicked ass. This is pushing him. This is the impossible challenge. You have this in you. And for those, and the beauty of it is, and he shared his story, he was wanting to lose weight and he wasn't losing the weight. I keep saying, challenge yourself, challenge yourself, challenge yourself. Nobody's picking this up. Challenge yourself, push yourself. If you're always looking at a scale, you're not going to lose shit. So you challenge yourself from a physical plane. And in that challenge, what has come out of it is the kids lost 10 pounds. That's a mic drop. You want a mic drop? That's a mic. Hey, no pun intended. Mic drop. Okay, anyway. But that's a mic drop, folks. I mean, come on. And what some of you do, though, is when it comes to body, like, look, if you don't want to, this isn't about losing weight. This is about what are you going to do to challenge yourself. And I just shared this with Trevor. I was talking to him about this. Like, I'm struggling right now. I'm struggling to find what my next challenge is. I have till Monday. I'm struggling to find what is the challenge going to be that I'm going to put myself through, because I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea. I'm still swimming. I'm still running. I'm still biking. I'm still working out. But I know that I need to give myself a challenge. And what's that challenge going to be? And it doesn't always have to be a crazy-ass challenge. But right now, because I know everyone's effort has been kind of like status quo, everyone here, I am challenging you to this. The impossible challenge. What would it be? What would it be for you? So when you look at body, what is the challenge? Some people might have a challenge of nutrition. They might say, man, I need to go gluten-free. I need to get rid of sugars. I need to get rid of grains. Something like that. What is it going to look like? What's the target? When are you going to hit it? You know, but it's got to be difficult. It's got to be something that's like, quote unquote, impossible. Like you literally, when you think about it, like, man, that just seems impossible to me. It's about putting the effort forward to get there. As we talk about condensing 1 year down to 3 months, you will never condense a year's worth of work and effort into 3 months if you don't put a year's worth of effort into the 3 months. And I mean like streamlined with urgency, with vigor and just passion to accomplish what you want. You come at it that way, you'll nail your goal in 3 months. You might have a money goal that you're far away from right now, but if you have the ruthless commitment to these results, ruthless commitment to your results, then you're going to find that when you put that passion and energy into 3 months, holy shit, things explode. So people have done well, but I'm looking for a greater expansion and expression in your life. Why? Because if I don't continue to up the game on you, then who's going to? I'm upping the game on yourself. I've been upping the game on myself for quite a while, and I continue to do so. And I think most of you, if you've been with me long enough, you know that's how I play. I don't come in here and ask you to do something I'm not willing to do. I'm asking you to push yourself so you can go next level. What is your body challenge going to be? Next one, being. These are targets, folks. These are targets. This has nothing to do with your morning ritual. That's going to be shared on a separate video. Being. Being, we talk about the voice. Being, we talk about, for some of us, that means God. Source. And what is going to increase that connection? What will increase that connection? So in this last quarter, some of you know this, I was reading, actually for about 6 months, 5 months, I was reading a book, Daily Devotional for Men. And the objective is every single day to read the devotional and then journal what it meant to me. Then to PDF that. Give a copy to my wife, give a copy to the 11 men in my mastermind group. That way I was held accountable, because being can be, of the 3 or 4 of these, being could be one where you would feel yourself not necessarily challenging yourself, so you're kind of going through the motions like, oh, I got this down, I pray every day. Oh, I got this down, I meditate anyway. Well, being, you might say, so for me, that was the challenge, okay? Now, it might also be meditation, and I'm going to do a meditation retreat. I know some people, I took this on last year, but I wasn't passionate about it, so I dropped it. And this was to study religion. And not just my religion, to study all religions, to get a better understanding and grasp on the different religions that exist and how this would affect my life, and does it strengthen my belief in God and where I'm at, or does it make me want to look deeper down the rabbit hole of other religions? Now, some of you think that's blasphemy, but this is a matter of you expanding on your certainty. And so you might look at the study of different religions, and then again, you journal it, and then you would have people that you would commit to say, at the end of the quarter, I'm going to PDF this. It ups the game when you make a commitment to other people about the commitment that you're making to self. It might be meditation retreat. It might be, some people that came to the program in April said it was after their meditation, they're going to sit in silence and listen for the voice. And they're going to take a word, and whatever that word is, they're going to write it down, and then maybe you write what that word means to you. Again, journaling this, and then PDFing it at the end of the quarter. That way you have 90 days worth of your thoughts and what it means to you. This ups the game, and this ups the game in the peace of your life. It ups the game in your connection with God, Source, the voice. Whatever that is for you, it ups the game in your connection and brings more peace into your life. It creates space in your life, because we get so caught up in the do. This is all about the who. This is all about you. And this creates silence. Remember, the music is made in the space between the notes. This is what helps to create that music. So what is it going to be when it comes to being? Then we have balance. Now, balance. For example, date night. Some of you take the easy way out on this, and I'm calling you on it. If you've been a twice-a-month date night person or a 3 times a month date night person, step up the frickin' game and go every night for 12 weeks. I'm sorry, every night. Whoa, that would be huge. Step up the game and go at it once a week for 12 weeks. Once a week for 12 weeks. Men, something you can do for your women. You journal. Take a date night picture after every date that you have. Be different. Mix things up. Take a picture and then write your favorite part of that date. Then put it into a journal. At the end of that 12-week period of time, present that on a special date, preferably an overnight date. Present that to your spouse or your significant other. Step up the game. If you're not doing even sticky notes, some of you couldn't even do 90 days worth of sticky notes. Are you freaking kidding me? So maybe you commit to sticky notes in your relationship. Women, what would it be for you to step up in terms of your relationship? What would that look like in your relationship? You have to determine what that would look like. Maybe it's more open communication. Maybe it's setting time aside that's not even necessarily a date night, but that we're going to have a sitter come over and we're going to sit down and we're going to go somewhere and sit and have coffee and just talk. Once a week, we're going to go have a coffee date for lunch. And we're going to sit and talk because I just want to communicate my needs and what's going on. And men, for those of you who are couples in this program, like men, sit there and shut the fuck up and listen. Give your spouse what they need and support and help them along the way, because women take on everything. Men do this, women do this. They're all over the place trying to accomplish everything. So women, what do you need? And maybe it becomes an expression of what those needs are in the relationship. Maybe it becomes a matter of you're not getting the date nights that you want, so you take charge of it and say, hey, we're going out on date nights and here's the request. Maybe it's a matter of, for me personally, Leah and I have agreed one of the keys of our balance over the course of the next 90 days is I'm teaching her the very doctrine that I've learned and am now going to be able to teach you guys as I am now licensed and going to be able to bring the work that I've learned from Warrior into our coaching program, which will benefit every man and every woman that is in this program. How do I know? Well, 1, I've been doing it myself. 2, I've seen what it's done in my own life and my own family. And 3, I've seen what it's done to other lives and other families. So my investments continue to pay off for you and your investments because I'm bringing this to our program so that you can learn and go deeper down the rabbit hole. Leah and I are going through the doctrine together so that we can grow our relationship even stronger. She's heard bits and pieces. We're going through ground zero and working our way up through the ranks. There's a couple people in this program that say, hey, what I want to do is I want to have my wife or my spouse sit down and watch the videos that you do, Troy, and I want to have a discussion with them once a week. So that's what I'm committing to. But what you have to do is you have to talk to the spouse and say, I'd love for us to work on our development and growth. So what I'd like to do is once a week we sit down and watch one video together and then discuss it and how it impacts our lives. So with Leah, I had to go to her and say, hey, look, I want to go through this doctrine with you. Can I teach it to you? Can we study it together and talk about it so that we can really create even greater strength than we already have? And I got the yes, I got the nod. So that means that that could be my target. My target is to be able to go through 90 days with her, and at the end of 90 days, be able to be solid together on the doctrine, where we could sit and talk about it and be able to get through every piece of the doctrine, the same stuff I'm going to be teaching you. So date night becomes non-negotiable. Like where we're at right now, I don't have a date night target other than date night is non-negotiable. So my target has changed. We continue our date nights because that's a part of an activity or a weekly living habit that we've created. So I need to add something to up the game. We're upping the game psychologically together. It's going to improve our communication. It's going to improve our sex life, which, by the way, is pretty rock solid anyway. It's going to improve our energy. It's going to improve our focus. It's going to improve our parenting. It's going to improve everything across the board. So when you look at your balance in your relationship, what does it look like for you to up the game? Each individual person here, what does it look like and what are you committing to over the course of the next 90 days? I will call you on it if this is just mediocre shit. I'm just not dealing with it anymore, folks. Because I'm getting excuses from people on stuff that's so small and easy that it's frustrating. It's frustrating that we're picking, I let people the first time pick things that would be like low-hanging fruit, and then the second time a few of you still pick low-hanging fruit, but you try to convince me that it was still tough. And I'm watching it going, this isn't tough. It's a story in your freaking head. The line has been drawn. I'll actually draw it. The line has been drawn. The line has been drawn. If you really want it, you're going to push. And it means that you are going to challenge yourself. And I will call you out if you don't. You may not like it. You may get pissed at me. You may even want to drop me as your coach. And I'm okay with that. But I see so much in every one of you that to see targets that are minimal and they're not targets that are pushing you to another level, it's unacceptable. So I will call you out if you are not pushing. I will push you and challenge you. And you might get pissed off, and you might tell me to fuck off, and you might hang up the phone on me. I'm okay with that, because if it starts to ignite the fire in your belly that you need to go to the next level, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with you being pissed at me at the expense, that expense of you growing. I am cool with that. Enough is enough. So many of you are this fucking close, and you don't even see it. And you buy in to this bullshit here. You buy into this stuff right here. You get the momentum, you get it going, and then all of a sudden shit hits the fan and we bail. It's not acceptable. I am more than happy to walk you through a stack. I am more than happy to do refocus work with you. I am more than happy to do that. All I am asking you to do is very simple. Challenge yourself and go all in. So when it comes to your relationship, challenge, push yourself, do what it takes to take your relationship to the next level in the next 90 days. And like the commitment that Brian and Michelle made, you'll be eating jelly beans and a ton of them in the next 90 days. You'll have to ask them what that means. But if you lose your focus, if you buy into the bullshit, then you're not going to get there. You will not get there. And you're too good at people not to let that happen. You're too damn good at people to not let that happen. So you have to do the work. Look at what your balance is. What does it look like? When it comes to your kids, if you have kids, what is it that you're going to do from a balance perspective? What will you do to commit to enhancing the relationship you have with your kids over the next 90 days? I learned a very important lesson in the last 90 days because I kept thinking it had to do with some event. I had to have some clever event to go do with my kids until I took Wyatt bowling because he didn't have school. And he knew that I took off of work to do that with him. Until I then went and took Watson to frickin' Trader Joe's, and he had a blast with me. It's the simple things. And so what I realize is that I have to make more Trader Joe time. I have to make more bowling time. I have to make more of this, hanging out time. So it changed my goal to, I had to have these special dates set up to know I have to make sure I have special hangout time set up, and you still have to be specific on it, because if you're not specific on what you want for hangout time, guess what happens? You lose it. What happens is it doesn't happen. 3 months go by and you realize that you had like 2 date nights with your kids and your wife at the same time. Well, how do I know? Because I've been there. So you look at your relationship, and if you have kids, what is that going to look like in terms of your balance? Some of you, because for some reason we seem to have like the most fertile group in all of chiropractic. We have a couple more of you that are expecting babies, and you know the excuse and the story that you can buy into is, well, you don't understand. We have a kid now, so it's hard to have date night. It's hard to no dudes. Okay, dudes, take care of your fucking wives when they have kids. Do the shit that they normally do. Take over. Lead the family. Allow your wives to live in that moment, to be able to enjoy those first few months where they're just totally bonding and connecting. See the beauty in it. Enjoy it. Take time to be with your kids, because those moments pass you by. So if you're one of those people that are falling into a category of having kids, start to pre-plan in your mind what you're going to do to step up. Don't start pre-planning the bullshit excuses that you're going to come up with as to why you can't grow, as to why you can't work out anymore, as to why you can't get shit done. When we first had Wyatt, I actually had a dude that said to me, he sent me a message, said, hey, how's your scheduling going now? Like, he was being an asshole, and he was being sarcastic, but he was also trying to be funny. He even said, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it was kind of an asshole comment, because he knows how scheduled I am. And the funny thing is that my schedule didn't fucking change. In actuality, what I did is I committed to more, so I woke up an hour earlier, which is why I get up at 5 o'clock now. Or I could buy into the bullshit story that your kids are going to change your life to the extent that you can't drag your happy ass out of bed because you're going to be too tired being a parent. That's a bullshit story. You buy into it, you take your kids down a path that they think that it's normal to be tired as a parent. It's normal not to get up and do the fucking work. Or you teach your kids that you do the work. You teach your kids that there are routines that you go through to get shit done. Why? Because this is my fucking kingdom, and I am going to show my kids the promised land. I'm going to show them how to treat their mother, how they should treat their mother, how they should treat women in general, how to be men and grow up to be men and be producers in this world. And they will not see what it's like to be a producer if I stay in bed in the morning. It won't happen. And for the women who have such an amazing opportunity to be able to show your kids what it's like to be a powerful, strong woman, to show them what that looks like. To be the living, breathing example of saying, I got this. I am not going to let myself be a victim of circumstance. I am going to let myself be a ruler of this home. I am going to allow myself to walk hand in hand with my husband, and I am going to allow them to see the strength and power that we have as a team. To see how it works. For a woman to be a strong and powerful entrepreneur at the office and then come home and be an even stronger and powerful wife, mother, and woman. You determine this. No one else does. Not the people out there. Those are the stories that we've all bought into in life, that's how it's supposed to be. So look, if you don't want to be at your office, moms out there, if you don't want to be in your office in the mornings, fucking close. Close the office. Pick the hours that you want to be in the office. What a novel concept. Do what you want. Because guess what, folks? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Chiropractic is not the most important thing in my life. The most important thing in my life is me taking care of me taking care of my wife and my children, me taking care of my relationship with God, and then taking care of what I can do to have an impact in your lives and in the lives of the millions of people who need chiropractic. Chiropractic is not first. If you came to OYA coaching for a coach that was going to put chiropractic first, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You're in the wrong freaking place. It's the who, not the do. Period. End of story. You don't have your relationship. You don't have your if you have kids, you don't have your relationship with your kids. You don't have your health. Who gives a shit if you're seeing 1,000 visits a week? No one. That's who. This isn't an coaching program. This is a life program that you can create the life of your dreams, what you want in your life. With that being said, the final B. Am I worked up? Yeah, amen. It's like you own the business or something. Boom, Troy. Thanks, Brother Nick. Business. I'm not talking about office visits. I'm not talking about new patients. What I am talking about, what do you want to bring in? You reverse engineer it. This is what I want to bring in. X dollars a month. And then I can now look at what's it going to take to bring that in. For some of you, yes, you need to put energy into your new patients. So maybe your one thing over the course of the next couple of weeks is to really focus on what you're going to do internally, what you're going to do externally, what you're going to do social media-wise, and what you're going to do in terms of just classes. So internally might be events, but maybe like getting back on track and doing a healthcare class or something like that that could really power some things. I know you all like the Dinner with the Doc share that I did, and yet I've heard nobody doing the Dinner with the Doc yet. Our office, we've done it, we've shown that it's successful, and nobody else is doing it. It's the only non-bullshit Dinner with the Doc that's out there, and yet nobody's done it yet. So I have no idea. Like, it's confusing to me. But so I want to bring in X dollars a month, and maybe I say I want to have X amount in savings, right? And so I want to have kid cash. I want to have what we're going to call kid cash. I want to have money for my kids, or maybe I want to save an amount and have vacation cash so that I can hire a substitute doc to come into the office and take a 2-week vacation, 3-week vacation, a month-long vacation, and just skate and go somewhere. Then what's the dollar amount that would take? Some people say, like, I don't really want to grow the business anymore. What I do want to do is I want to bring in more money, though, so that I can do X, Y, and Z. Great. Then let's put our focus on what you're going to do, because the purpose of the business is to fund your lifestyle. The purpose of your practice is to help those people and get paid for what you do. So what is it that you want in terms of your business, being very specific? And then from these, we work backwards as the action steps of what it's going to take. So you look out on a scale and you go, okay, so this is where I want to be in body, being, balance, and business. Where do I need to be at 60 days? And where do I need to be in the next 30 days? It's very simple. So I work backwards. Here's my target. This is my ultimate target. So where do I need to be at 60 days? And where do I need to be at 30 days? And I've now created a path for me to get to where I want to go at that 90-day mark. I follow my path, and I give it my best effort, whatever that means, but I step out of my comfort zone, and I go for it because I'm all in. If I do that, you're going to hit your targets. But you got to do it consistently, and you have to do it daily. If you don't do your work consistently and you don't do it daily, don't be surprised if you don't get what it is that you want. So, look, I think I blew a blood vessel in my head today. It's something like feels like it's popping out right here. I hope this was helpful. My complete focus was on being able to give you more specifics on body, being, balance, and business. That you would then pick your target. What is your target? What is it that you want to hit over the course of the next 90 days? And that you get this to me by the end of the week. And the week is tomorrow, because that way I can send some information back to you. I'm going away with family this weekend, but I will take time tomorrow morning to look at any emails that come in. I will give you my feedback, and you should be ready to roll come Monday. Excuses aside, reasons aside, what are you going to focus to create what you want? Because if we go all the way back to the top here, folks, what we know is not everybody gave it their all in the first 6 months of this year. Everyone here has an opportunity to reverse the trend, to flip it on its ass and give it your all to get to where you want to go. But you have to be clear, you have to define what that looks like, you have to load it up, and you got to go. And I'm telling you right now, I've had a tremendous quarter myself. I'm telling you right now, if you do that, you're going to hit your targets, and you're going to be celebrating. So that's all I got for you today. I would love to have some feedback here. What is it that you're committing to, if you already have those here, but still send it to me via email. What was your takeaway from today's call? If I seem fired up, folks, I am. I found out something last quarter that I didn't even know when I found out I could swim farther than I was giving myself credit for. That I had more in me, and it was really, I thought I was pushing myself, and I was going to the pool 3, sometimes 4 times a week, 2-a-day workouts, and I thought I was pushing myself. And then I realized that it was all up here. I thought I was pushing myself until I was challenged, the impossible challenge, that in 10 days I had to swim a half of a mile. Maybe it was 2 weeks, that I was going to have to swim a half of a mile. It was the impossible challenge, but I only had one option, which was to swim. And I've shared with you that I was scared. I've shared with you that it was challenging getting up there, but once I got in the water and got going, it all worked out. I was capable of more than I was giving myself credit for. I needed that in my life because it's bleeding into this quarter where I am ruthlessly committing to going not even 10x, 20x in my life. And part of my life is this program and you, which means that although I've always been committed to you, I've increased that, if it's even possible, the amount of commitment to supporting you and getting where you want to go. But at the end of the day, folks, you're the one who has to do the fucking work. I can't do it for you. So if you're all in, you type all in there. That way I know that you're all in. You send me what your targets are, and let's move. I got to roll. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.